Well, the Luders, the L16, the Luders 16 is a 27-foot one design racing boat, is named after the company that builds it. I mean, there were fleets all over the country. Chicago had a big one, San Diego had a big one. I'm sure Fisher's Island had one. So now the Luders fleet in Northeast Harbor is the biggest one in the country, I'm sure in the world. The Northeast Harbor fleet ordered 20 boats from the Luders company, and they were delivered in the late 1940s. And most of them have stayed around in the area. We've repaired probably 7 of them here. There's 5 of them in the shop right here. But the Luders boat building company dated back to the early 1900s. It was in Stamford, Connecticut. But Bill Luders was a wonderful builder and a designer. They built 200 of them. They're classic. Their looks are just classic with the molded cuddy, but they're real easy to sail. They handle real easily. They're real responsive. They were built using 5 layers of 1/8-inch mahogany veneers that are cross-laid on a mold to basically create plywood in the shape of a boat. So there are no frames inside this boat. The hull with these 5 layers and glued together is so strong and light, and the glue seams are like perfect. When you go from one layer to the other, the glue joints inside are like perfect. The first Luders, the first L16 that was built was not built like this. It was a regular, traditional plank-on-frame boat. I think the design and the boat was commissioned by the Fisher's Island Yacht Club or something down Long Island Sound, but it wasn't too long before they started building them like this. So the only way to save these old boats is to repair the bad wood, and it's almost all right in that section. Replace all the rotten wood with good new veneers, and then the fiberglass over the top so that water cannot get into the veneers. This boat is in pretty good shape, but we still had to remove 1 layer of the veneers. So I took a power plane and planed off 1/8 of an inch down into the next layer, which you can easily see because the direction of the grain changes. I couldn't find the veneers I needed for this one, so I made them. I actually milled them out. So the interior of this boat was in such good shape that I decided to use a vacuum bag to apply pressure during the gluing process. So we used plastic staples just to hold the veneers in place, a few screws along the bottom where the bend was really tight, and then the vacuum bag was going to apply the pressure to hold the veneers down in the glue. So the vacuum bag goes over the entire boat and seals along the butyl strip that we put on, and then you suck the air out with vacuum pumps. I was happy to see the vacuum gauge go up to 10 pounds per square inch of pressure, certainly enough to hold these veneers in place. Once we took the vacuum bag off, the hull was perfectly fair, except for where we had to scarf the new veneers into the old veneers. They kind of overlapped there, so we had to take a hand plane and a power plane to plane along that edge until that original shape is restored.
Lay it along here. Put it in. No, that's pretty good.
The goal when you've repaired all the bad veneers is to fiberglass right over the top of the boat, because if you don't keep the water out of the veneers, then they're gonna rot again. It's the only way to repair them properly. Once the fiberglass cures, then we hand sanded the fiberglass with longboards. Then we add epoxy putty with microballoons and sand again. It's a long process of fairing a hull like this, but it needs to be done because the This boat's going to be all gripped, and if there's any imperfections in the hull, it'll show up in the really shiny paint that we're going to put on. This part of the boat is done. It's all faired and ready to go back onto the keel. So it's on a trailer underneath there. It's on a little boat trailer. So we'll pull that over here underneath my hoists and pick it up, flip it over. Once it's high enough, we back the trailer underneath it that's already got the keel all set up with the bolts sticking out of it. So we just drop the boat onto the keel. This boat, unlike a lot of them I worked on, the cabin, the cuddy, the combings, the seats, everything is in beautiful shape. So I think the only thing we have to do once we get it upright above the deck is to redo the varnish, sand and paint, and put another coat of varnish on. Also on this boat, even though it hasn't been in the water for probably 10 years, the mast was stored up in the rafters of a building, and it's in perfect shape, and I think all the rigging is good to go. It gets stuck when it's in the upright position. It gets stuck, so we have to pull it over with 2x4s and strength. Look at that!
So much for the 2x4.
What the hell? That's only happened twice. In all the times I've done this.
Unbelievable. Well,
You don't say that on film.
Theoretically, it should work like that.
Every time, but it never does.
Well, it did.
So there's 3 new keel bolts, and then 3 of the original ones were in good shape, so we reused them. Once the boat is joined to the keel again, it's ready for the painting process. Below the waterline, we put 2 or 3 layers of inner protect, and then the bottom paint, and then above the waterline, it'll start the all grip priming and finish paint process. This boat has a really unusual deck where it's painted white with black stripes to kind of mimic a teak deck, and so we have to redo that. I mean, the funny thing about this is even though we only did 1 layer, I mean, you still have to do everything else that you have to do on all the other ones that are in bad shape. We had to take out all the screws along the backbone because they were all corroded, 70 years old. So even though this boat was in really good shape, there still was a lot of work that went into it to keep it going for another 100 years.
Torches coming down the mountain, and a kiss by the lake, cruising on dragonfly, and on the tiller, sails in the sky. Open wind comes our way, our little boat rocks and sways. 'Cause you light up my day, you light up my day, you light up my day, sunshine, you light up my day. Yeah, son. Walking down the fire road, on our way to Seal Cove, watching the ships from the shore. The moon is curved like a thorn. I feel your love in my bones. When I'm with you, I'm at home. 'Cause you light up my day, you light up my day, you light up my day, sunshine, you light up stove. I wanna go wherever you go. I feel your love in my bones. When I'm with you, I'm at home. 'Cause you light up my day. You light up my day. Light up my day, sunshine. You light up my day. 'Cause you light up my day. You light up my day. You light up my day, sunshine. You light up my day. Yeah, you light up my day. You light